Happy International Women's Day to all the gorgeous and beautiful ladies here. So, a warm welcome to all of you on behalf of POSHSHALA and AAKEN Advisory. On Women's Day, a lot has been spoken about the women's empowerment. But today, we two gorgeous ladies have come up with a very hot topic. A topic which is talk of the town. Can you guess anything? No. So the topic is Fireside Chat on a very contemporary subject. Be vocal and set your boundaries. So it's my honor to welcome Ms. Divija Dave, founder and director of POSHSHALA, to express her views on this contemporary subject. By the way, Divija ji, today you are really looking very beautiful. And less than your age, nobody can tell you are a mother of a young 9-month baby.
Thank you so much, Nehal. I think this is a very good compliment that I have got post I have become a mother. Thank you so much for giving me this platform to come and express my views. And I would also like to wish every woman an international woman, very happy International Women's Day. It is not only limited to women these days, but yes, to also the men out there, because they are supporting their females, their ladies to come and go a long way. So here is this is where the equality actually exists in the families, where the females are approaching hard to go ahead and males are supporting them.
So, Divija ji, if instead of me, a male colleague will, compliment you in this way, how would you react to this?
Oh, that's absolutely normal. If a male colleague compliments me that I'm looking beautiful, I would definitely smile and say thank you. But at the same time, if I find any sort of bad intention towards giving me this particular compliment, then I would definitely become a little stronger in my approach and say that I do not like this. Because, there is a way of complimenting, there is a way of saying something to a lady, or not only to a lady, or also to all the genders who are currently present. There's a way how you express your feelings. So a lady or a male, whosoever it may be, they can easily judge the feeling behind that particular compliment or whatever they have said to each other, right? So at that point, if I'm able to judge that that particular compliment is not going in the appropriate manner, probably I would refrain and I would take a back seat and say, no, I do not like that. But yes, I would definitely take a compliment if it is given in a healthy manner.
Fantastic. So, of course, you should take the compliment for yourself. So, as we are going to deep dive into this hot topic, I am reminding of the new movie released on OTT, Gehraya. It has also talking a lot about some gray areas of life, and they are talking it openly. So, just as a metaphor, I am going to take it here. That if you are working in a environment where there is a founder like Mr. Zain, who is a very young, smart, dashing, and she has a co-founder like Tia, who is very beautiful, rich, and the relationship is perfect. And then after a few, you are a HR of that company, okay? And a beautiful lady you are inducting called Alicia or whoever, okay? And after some months, you find that, there is something happening between the founder and the new joinee. How, and you are handling HR, you are handling POSH. So how you will handle? Of course, before you will tell us how you handle, you can tell the viewers about what is exactly the POSH.
Okay, I think this is very, very interesting that you have asked me something which is actually related to the movies. And many people, especially the millennials and the younger generation, they are very much towards the OTT platforms, and they really want to watch what all is coming in. probably on one side, if I can say, we are gaining a lot of information from OTT platforms, from the things that are coming in, but at the same time, there are also negative impacts of the same on the children, on the millennials. So here, if I talk about this particular aspect that you have highlighted, the relationship. So I'll go to the POSH a little later, but let me just clarify this particular point. Probably it will be easy for me to then patch in up what sexual harassment is and how this can get converted into POSH. So through this live example that you have given me, what happens that mostly in the new companies and the startups, there are young people, there are millennials who have joined hands together, right? And they have come to serve on a platform. So it is absolutely perfect if they are becoming friends, they are getting into relationships, and unless and until it is mutual, it is absolutely fine, right? But where this thin line is crossed, when it doesn't remain mutual, and if it is forced, then it goes under the problem of sexual harassment. Because what happens, like for example, if I and my male friend, male colleague, we have opened a company together, we are actually having personal relations, and simultaneously we are getting into a professional relationship also. Okay, so now we do not know what are the boundaries that we'll have to set for ourselves. Neither that guy knows, nor do I know, right? So we are actually indulging into so much of personal communication at the workplace where we don't know that what is right for us, what is wrong for us. And one fine day, if I feel that yes, this is what is called as crossing of boundaries, that person who is actually my friend, with whom I shared a personal relationship, is getting so much into my personal space that it's now getting a problem for me, becoming a problem for me. At that point of time, if I raise my voice and if I say that, boss, now please stop it, then that gets into the purview of sexual harassment, it gets into the purview of POSH. Till then, it actually remains a very, very healthy relationship. Now, talking in the context of Gehraiya, that the example that you have given of the movie, so in that case, the young CEO and the new girl Alicia, who are being inducted, who has been inducted in this particular company. So till the time they are in the mutual relationship, they are carrying this in a professional manner without, creating a culture where things are not getting worse for them, right? So till that time, it is absolutely fine because they are adults, they can get into a relationship. पर अगर उसके अलावा ये कोई चीज इस तरह से होती है जहां पे फोर्स्ड रिलेशनशिप होता है, या सडनली दैट गर्ल और अ बॉय रियलाइजेस कि मुझे ये चीज नहीं करनी है, नाउ आई एम रियलाइजिंग माय पर्सनल बाउंड्रीज एंड नाउ आई एम रियलाइजिंग माय प्रोफेशनल बाउंड्रीज. So at that point of time, if the girl says that I do not want to get into a relationship with you, what all you have done to me, with my mutual consent though, but still I'm not liking it, and that may get into the purview of POSH if it is strictly said that I do not like this type of attitude. So there are actually two aspects to this.
So taking it forward, the way you told that yes, in organizations, mainly startups or big organizations also, the youngsters don't know the boundaries, and this kind of a relationship happens. But to convert it into the thing as a POSH, when you told that when they are into the mutual relationship, it is okay, but when it is getting broke down, okay, and then the blame game starts. So how you tackle that? Because both were together, and then a female or a male says that now I want a space, I want to get out of the relationship. So from when in the reporting it will be starting, from the time they are not together and one person is still trying to force that other person to get into a relationship, or how this entire case, when it comes to you as a HR or a member of an ICC committee, it is tackled.
So what exactly happens is, this is a very, very basic point when you say that the relationship is over, the people are broken, and from now then the blame game starts actually, right? but it is actually starting when you are starting to disrespect somebody on the personal front. You know, if you are a girlfriend or a boyfriend, if you are sharing a relationship, that really doesn't mean that you are taking each other for granted. That really doesn't mean for a boy to take his girlfriend for granted. The way he wants, he can use the girlfriend. That's not how this should be running, right? And similarly goes with the girl also, that if she has a boyfriend, एट दैट टाइम अगर वो उनको ग्रांटेड ले रही हैं, उनसे किसी भी तरह की चीजों को एक्सपेक्ट कर रही हैं या उनको पर्सनली डिसरिस्पेक्ट कर रही हैं, सो दिस रियली डजंट गो. इफ दिस टाइप ऑफ रिलेशनशिप इज देयर, रादर यू शुड नॉट गेट इनटू द रिलेशनशिप्स, एंड देन ultimately what happens, you are getting into the blame games. Now, when we come to the reporting part, what happens, we usually try to judge that what sort of relationship the two people, in case if they are filing, like if the girl is filing the complaint of sexual harassment, that she has been sexually harassed by so and so person with whom she was in a relationship. So as an internal committee member, it becomes very important for me to first judge what kind of relationship actually they were into, from what time. ओके, नाउ इन दिस केस, जैसे आपने गहराइयां में ये चीज बताया, इसमें ऑलरेडी दैट यंग सीईओ वाज इन अ रिलेशनशिप विद टिया, राइट? एंड देन आफ्टर हैविंग दैट रिलेशनशिप, वो अगेन एक रिलेशनशिप में एंटर होते हैं. तो ये किसी इंसान का एक बैकग्राउंड जानना बहुत जरूरी है कि ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ग्राउंड्स पे वो इंसान कैसे हैं. Because you know, I don't know कि आप कैसे हैं या सामने वाले व्यक्ति कैसे हैं. It is very essential when, if I am getting into a case, if I want to know something, I have to get the background of the person first. As an internal committee member, it doesn't mean that if the case comes in front of me and I directly give the judgment. This is what is written in the law. I'll also have to use my instinct, my way of dealing, because every HR, every internal committee member have different instincts and they have different styles of handling a complaint. Correct? So rather than getting into the procedural format that is already written in the law, of course you are going to read it and you are going to follow it. But ethically किस तरह से आपको चीजों को follow करना चाहिए ताकि आप right decision पे पहुंचे, वो बहुत ज्यादा important है. So that you are not
fantastic.
बिकॉज क्या होता है कि कभी कभी हम एकदम प्रोसीजरल वे में जिस तरह से चलते हैं, हम भूल जाते हैं कि आप जिसका केस डील कर रहे हैं वो भी ऑन दी अदर साइड इज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, एंड जिसके लिए कर रहे हैं वो भी ह्यूमन बीइंग है. सो यू विल हैव टू बी वेरी फेयर इन गिविंग योर जजमेंट्स, इन गिविंग योर recommendations for that matter, right?
So fantastic. So as a HR, do you have any rules and regulation to be given to the new employees, or some policy which you share with all the employees, or is it applicable to the startups? Means, can you tell us a little more about this POSH law and the background that because we talked about what is exactly happening, but you know why this has come up, why this law has come up, or and how it is applicable. Is it applicable to startups also, or it is applicable only to big MNCs or MSMEs? How we have to take it forward?
So Nehal, this is a very big myth right now that POSH Act is not applicable to startups. You know, many people think that it is only applicable to the larger organizations, probably having so many number of people, because वहाँ पे chances लोगों को ज़्यादा लगते हैं कि sexual harassment के cases ज़्यादा होंगे. So this is a common myth that is there amongst the startups, amongst the people who are getting into the startups, that is not applicable to them. One of the main reasons is lack of awareness. And another reason that I get to know is they are very conscious about their spendings. Okay, so अगर आप उनको बताते हैं कि आपके ऊपर एक और law applicable है apart from what all is applicable to them, they become very I mean, I wouldn't say curious. They'll become very nervous to know कि अरे ये भी हम पे applicable है. We'll have to again spend some of the money to manage this particular act that is applicable on us. उनके दिमाग में बहुत सारी चीजें आने लग जाती है. So they are more focused, like startups, as all of us know, that they are more focused on revenue and profits. कहीं ना कहीं culture एक back seat लेता है उस point of time पे. Correct?
And so does this word POSH segments where the sexual harassment is coming, so they say okay, we are very cool culture, we do, means this is not applicable to us, something like that is in their mindset.
I can't say that it's there in their mindset. Probably this is how the environment of startups is. Since, as I reiterate, that this is mainly built by the millennials, by the youth, so they already have that sort of a mindset where things are very, very liberal for them. Okay, they do not follow in the hierarchy now. पुराने organizations में आप देखते हैं तो एक hierarchy बनी होती है, correct? कि किस तरह से आप एक ladder के ऊपर चढ़ते हैं, how you are achieving your goals as a leader. Okay, आपने join किया as associate, then you're becoming a leader of that organization, leading in some or the other department. So there's a hierarchy that we follow. But if today, if you see in most of the startups, ये एक अच्छी भी चीज है जिससे हम इक्वालिटी को प्रमोट कर रहे हैं, that everybody is working in the same zone. Okay, that they do not follow believe in hierarchy, they do not believe in the ladder, how they can go up and किस तरह से उस चीज को मैनेज करेंगे. एक तरह से ये अच्छी भी चीज है, बट कहीं ना कहीं इसकी वजह से एक इतना इनफॉर्मल कल्चर क्रिएट हो जाता है जिसके वजह से कल को अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम्स निकल के आते हैं with reference to sexual harassment, they are taken then very, very lightly, because आपका पुराना बिहेवियर ही इस तरह का है जिसने इस चीज को जन्म दिया है. So you have easy things to blame for, कि ये आपने किया, इसकी वजह से ये हुआ है. So things are then and there settled. You then need no committee, you do not need any people to interfere into your matter, and आप खुद ही उस चीज को sort out कर लेते हो. Rather, if you go in other type of organizations, वहां पे होता है कि चलिए इन्होंने मेरे से गलत तरह से बात कर ली, flirting किया मेरे साथ, the talk was very, very unhealthy. अगर इस तरह की चीजें, I have the system where I can go and report to a specific committee, to HR. So there's a lot of difference in the working style, the setting of culture. That's why I always say that POSH compliance is absolutely related to building an organizational culture. बिकॉज प्रॉफिट, रेवेन्यू, ये सब चीजें आएगी, लेकिन आप कल्चर किस तरह से शुरू दिन से बिल्ड करें. स्टार्टअप शुड नेवर फॉरगेट कि आज वो स्टार्टअप है, कल को वो भी एक लार्ज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होंगे. सो उनको जो पाथवे क्रिएट करना है खुद के लिए, बाय मेकिंग अ प्रॉपर कल्चर, दैट हैज टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम टुडे. Now coming on to the applicability of POSH Act. Now POSH Act is very much applicable to any organization that has 10 or more than 10 employees. So अगर स्टार्टअप के पास 10 या 10 से ज्यादा एम्प्लॉइज हैं, 10 या 10 से ज्यादा लोग उनके साथ काम कर रहे हैं, तो इट इज एप्लीकेबल टू देम. और अगर नहीं भी एप्लीकेबल है तो क्या गलत है ये सोचने में दैट एज अ फाउंडर आई वांट टू क्रिएट अ सेफ वर्क प्लेस फॉर माय पीपल. सो दिस हैज टू कम वॉलंटरीली. ये तो फॉर्चुनेट बात है कि एक लॉ है और जिसका मैंडेट आपके ऊपर है, आप मैंडेटरी उस चीज को फॉलो कर रहे हैं. But the things are going to turn when people will start following it voluntarily. कि अगर मेरे पास 10 से भी कम लोग हैं तो भी मुझे किस तरह से अपने कल्चर को इतना अच्छा बनाना है कि whosoever gets associated to me has to feel safe, has to feel healthy in my organization.
So once they are mentally prepared to means, of course after 10 they have to do it mandatorily, they have to do the compliance. Or there are so many women founders who are holding more than 51% shares, and they would like to have a POSH committee or POSH regulations in their organization from day one. So what is the process, how you will guide them to
so see as so what happens, like POSHSHALA एक thought process है, एक company से ज़्यादा मैं बोलूँगी, it is a thought process where I actually aim to implement, help companies implement the entire POSH procedure for them. It is not confined to having a policy in place or having an internal committee, tick the box approach में I don't believe. Because क्या होता है, tick the box approach तभी आता है जब आपको समझ आती है कि एक चीज आपके लिए mandatory है. And you have to show it to the authorities, definitely. That's why you have ticked all the boxes. So hence you are complied. But you are not thinking that how this can help you in a better way if you are complying in the spirit. As in, कि आप actually एक safe workplace, एक safe environment create किस तरह से करेंगे. Now, as a founder, you will have to think through this procedure. You'll have to think through the core values, to the principles that you have brought into this organization, right? Because आप एक founder है, आप एक board member है, आपकी personality represent करती है कि आपकी company कैसी है. अगर आपकी पर्सनालिटी के साथ आपकी कंपनी लिंक होती है, if for example if your company AAKEN, I would say it is a very good company because I know you personally, because you are a good human being. I can always relate AAKEN to be a good company because you are the founder director of AAKEN advisory, करेक्ट. सो मैं आपकी नजर से उस कंपनी को देखती हूँ, करेक्ट. आपके क्या इथोस है, आपके क्या प्रिंसिपल्स है, आपके क्या वैल्यूज है, आप उसमें इनकलकेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, करेक्ट. सो द सेम अप्लाइज हियर ऑल्सो, कि आपके अंदर वॉलंटरी कितनी ज्यादा कोशिश है इस चीज को आगे बढ़ाने की. नाउ कमिंग ऑन टू द कंप्लायंस पार्ट, टॉकिंग अबाउट द पॉश इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट, हमको स्टार्ट करना चाहिए एक सिंपल एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी बनाने के साथ. सो पॉलिसी हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के पास होती है, बट व्हाट प्रॉब्लम इज दैट पॉलिसी इज नेवर रिविजिटेड. आपने एक बार पॉलिसी बना के रख दी, फॉर एग्जांपल 5 इयर्स का मेरा स्टार्टअप है, मैंने 5 साल पहले एक पॉलिसी डिजाइन की थी, आज भी मेरे पॉलिसी में कंटेंट्स सेम ही है, दे आर नॉट अपडेटेड. उसके आगे हम थोड़ा सा बढ़ते हैं. पॉलिसी में एक फॉरवर्ड एंड प्रीफेस करके एक जगह होती है जहां पे मैनेजमेंट एंड कंपनी फाउंडर जो होते हैं अपने थॉट प्रोसेस को रखते हैं. बिकॉज आई विल जस्ट गिव अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल. व्हेन यू बिल्ड अ कंपनी, यू बिल्ड अ वेबसाइट. Okay, on the website you are supposed to put all the documents that you have. Now I do not know the founder personally. If I want to know the company, I'm going to visit the website. वेबसाइट के ऊपर जितने डिटेल्स दिए होंगे उसके बेसिस पे मैं जज कर पाऊंगी कि कंपनी कैसी है, एंड देन इफ आई वांट टू गेट एसोसिएटेड विद दैट कंपनी और नो, आई विल डिसाइड, करेक्ट. So this is my way of approaching a company. Similar would be the approach methodology of other people. वो वेबसाइट जाके स्टडी करेंगे. अभी वेबसाइट पे एंटी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी डिस्प्लेड है. Okay, now that policy is very simply drafted with no sort of modification, with no preface or forward from a founder, no thought process communicated. What is going to be my reaction? मुझे लगेगा कि मेरे लिए शायद कल को ये एक सेफ वर्क प्लेस नहीं होगी. The reason, simple reason is कि मुझे पता है कि ये बहुत ही आउटडेटेड तरह की चीज इन्होंने डाल के रखी है. यहाँ पे फाउंडर बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स के साथ इनका प्रोसेस लिंकअप नहीं हुआ है. This is mainly done for the compliance purpose. That's why I always suggest that if you're framing a policy, please get a write-up from the board member or from the founder of your company. Fantastic. Because उनकी thought process इस policy के अंदर आना बहुत जरूरी है. How they want to create a safe environment for their people, it needs to replicate in this particular policy. इसमें reflect होना बहुत जरूरी है. So this is one aspect of the policy that I'm talking about. Next is the revisiting of your policy. Now the policy was made when there was no pandemic, for example. Now 2020 pandemic came, policy still remains the same. हमने वर्चुअल सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट को, न्यू नॉर्मल को, किसी चीज को इंक्लूड करने के बारे में सोचा ही नहीं, क्योंकि हमने कंप्लायंस के लिए एक पॉलिसी बनाई थी, हमने वो पॉलिसी को कंटिन्यू किया है. We have not taken inputs from different department heads. We have not taken inputs from the founder. We have not taken inputs from the board of directors. They come from a very, very strong background. That's why they are holding this position. So their experience has to come in the policy. Okay. Right? So the way you are designing your policy shouldn't be a cut-paste approach, cut-copy-paste approach. Rather, it should come from the originality, that how you are as a person. An HR or internal committee member, for that matter, is the best person who can drive this entire procedure. True. So this is one point that talks about the policy part. Now talking about another point that comes to designing of a poster. Now the law says that you will have to have communicative posters to all the offices that you hold in the city, in the country. आपके कम्युनिकेटिव पोस्टर जीरो टॉलरेंस के बारे में हर पोस्टर में आपको बताना है. अब हम उसमें भी क्रिएटिविटी नहीं खोजते हैं. सो अगेन हम इंटरनेट पे जाते हैं, गूगल से एक डिजाइन उठाते हैं, उस डिजाइन को हम रेप्लिकेट करते हैं एंड हम अपने ऑफिस में लगा देते हैं. We do not think through that that particular design, the message on that poster has to be in sync with our organizational values.
True.
So everything, you know, is getting interconnected with the culture, with the organizational values, with your core values. So this is another part. Then comes the filing of your annual report. एनुअल रिपोर्ट भी एक फॉर्मेट दिया हुआ है, तो हम उसी फॉर्मेट में भरते हैं. हम एक्स्ट्रा एक पैराग्राफ नहीं ऐड करते. जो फॉर्मेट दिया है, आप या तो नंबर ऑफ ट्रेनिंग्स एक्सेट्रा यू विल राइट. इफ यू हैव नॉट डन यू विल राइट nil. बट व्हाट ऑल स्टेप्स वॉलंटरली यू हैव टेकन ड्यूरिंग द ईयर to make your company a safe workplace for all your employees and third parties who are associated to you. We never bother to mention that paragraph there.
True.
Another in link to the annual report, हम सिर्फ POSH annual report को फटाफट भर के हम सबमिट कर देते हैं, बट हम ये नहीं देखते कि उसका जो एक लिंकेज है वो कंपनीज एक्ट के एनुअल रिपोर्ट एंड डायरेक्टर्स रिपोर्ट में भी होता है. कितने कंपनीज होते हैं who come up with a problem saying कि हमने डायरेक्टर्स रिपोर्ट में तो लिख दिया है yes that we have complied to all the provisions of POSH Act, लेकिन एनुअल रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया है POSH के अंदर. So this is, you know, interrelated, but they do not know how this is to be done. Nobody tells them. एक एक्ट दूसरे एक्ट से कनेक्टेड है. डायरेक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टेटमेंट में आपको yes और no के अलावा क्या क्या चीजें लिखनी है वो नहीं बताया जा रहा है. आपको एनुअल रिपोर्ट में अपनी कंपनी, बिकॉज अल्टीमेटली एक स्टार्टअप का एम क्या है, यू विल हैव टू इंक्रीज द स्टेक होल्डर ट्रस्ट, अल्टीमेटली यू विल हैव टू इंक्रीज योर रीच, एंड अल्टीमेटली द रेवेन्यू प्रॉफिट एवरीथिंग गोज हैंड इन हैंड. पर एक स्टेक होल्डर ट्रस्ट के लिए ये सारी चीजें कितनी जरूरी है. पॉलिसी हम बनाते हैं, उसका कोई लिंकेज कोड ऑफ कंडक्ट पॉलिसी के साथ नहीं होता है, किसी भी HR इंटरनल पॉलिसी के साथ नहीं होता है. सो देयर इज अ कंफ्यूजन इन द कंपनी कि सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट है या हरासमेंट है. हु इज द अथॉरिटी आई शुड गो एंड अप्रोच टू.
True.
ये हो गया.
Fantastic.
These are some of the compliance. I've not highlighted all of them, but yes, these were some.
Yeah, but very innovative things which you have told about the policy, about even the report also you have told. So can you also tell, the way you mentioned in the report that training is compulsory? So can you come to that aspect? That
I was actually about to. Yes.
Train the employees and even the ICC committee members. I would like to know both about them. Because
yes, so training, I rather call it sensitization rather than calling it a training, because training becomes very, very formal, you know. Again, that goes along very well with the tick the box approach. Sensitization is something that is coming from within you. So then that becomes personal. If you're trying to sensitize people, if you're actually trying to create awareness about this particular topic in your organization, so you will have to actually give your heart and soul to this. आपको सिर्फ वो नहीं बताना है जो लॉ बोलता है, आपको सिर्फ वो नहीं बताना है जो दुनिया बता रही है ट्रेनिंग में. You will have to deep dive into the subject, you will have to understand the subject for that matter, and then come up with something innovative that is applicable to your employees. आपके employees नहीं जानना चाहते हैं कि POSH Act 2013 के provisions क्या हैं, right? Most of the training programs take place जहाँ पे आप section wise details describe करते हैं, बताते हैं कि sexual harassment का definition ये है, इसके अंदर क्या क्या चीजें आती हैं, आप नॉर्मल वे में उसको बताइए. एम्प्लॉइज लीगल बैकग्राउंड से नहीं बिलोंग करते हैं. So you will have to mold your things according to what kind of audience you are catering to. And it is not only limited to the employees, but also to every person in the hierarchy. So the training has to be divided into few parts. It has to be for the board of members, it has to be for the internal committee, it has to be for the employees including their managers, and it has to be for the people who are in the what I say below line के जो लोग होते हैं, मतलब जो आपके company में associated है as a peon, as a staff doing some other work, उनके लिए भी तो ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है, because वो भी तो आपके organization का part है. It is very, very important for the people to know कि आपका organization उनको safety कैसे दे सकता है. If, for example, I'm talking to you as a founder, my way of approach, my way of dealing with you is going to be entirely different. my language that I'll be using with you is going to be entirely different. But the same thing, if I'm explaining to a peon or to a maid who is working in my organization, my approach absolutely changes. My language absolutely changes. उनको नहीं समझ में आती लीगल भाषा, उनको नहीं समझ में आती है इंग्लिश, तो आप लोकल लैंग्वेज में बात करने की कोशिश करिए. आपको इसके लिए मैं इसीलिए बोल रही हूँ कि you will have to put your heart and soul into this. This is not something which is limited to only training or only sensitizing people on the superficial level, but you'll also have to check the impact.
Now in the COVID, how you are tackling this training, or how the companies are tackling this training, because it is compulsory every year.
So usually we used to do this offline because जब pandemic नहीं था, offline ये सब trainings होते थे, training programs होते थे. But then virtual scenario आजकल इतना ज़्यादा बढ़ गया है that companies have now started reaching out through virtual platforms, and probably any of the virtual platforms are sufficient to take the training sensitization part. Apart from that, we are also trying to indulge companies with a weekly sort of a campaigning thing, जिसके अंदर हम कुछ activities जो होते हैं, for example, giving a name to your POSH program. This is just a contest kind of a thing that we do with the companies. Whosoever person from any of the department gives an interesting name, उनको एक certificate and एक prize दिया जाता है from the company side. So this is very, very motivating. Okay, then we try to keep a quiz sort of a thing, that whether actually you have understood whatever we have tried to explain in the sensitization, क्या आपको वो चीज समझ में आई है, तो हम quiz रख देते हैं. So इस तरह की कोई different activities आपको करनी पड़ेगी to maintain the engagement level of what you're trying to communicate and what the other person is understanding.
And you were mentioning about the virtual thing also, that you are covering now, or the policy should cover about the virtual communication or virtual sex harassment incidences. So how you are guiding your clients, or what is the message you would like to give to the viewers?
The message that I want to give to the viewers is, please keep updating your policy, please keep revisiting your policy, because it's not merely a document, but it is something that is communicating your ideas, your principles and values to the other person. So draft it very, very ethically, and draft it in the original way, that the way you want to communicate, because policy draft करने का कोई format नहीं होता है. Right? There is no format which is given कि इसी तरह से ये points include करके आपको policy draft करनी. You can put whatever you want to, and make your policy in a very, very communicable and easy language, so that every person who's reading that policy is understanding that. Legal jargons avoid करिए. आप buzzwords जो होते हैं legal भाषा में, वो सब चीजों को avoid करिए, and उसको emotionally draft करिए, so that the person is able to connect. Now, talking about the virtual thing that I have advised my clients to put into their policy is talking about what virtual sexual harassment means, in addition to the definition of sexual harassment. इसके scenarios बताए गए हैं कुछ, कि अगर इस तरह की problems होती, how you can deal with it. Next is defining what is new normal. What are the working hours? For example, अगर 9 to 5 आपका working hour है, but अभी pandemic के time में since everybody was working from home, तो हमारे work timings बहुत ज़्यादा vary कर रहे थे. So रात तक हमारा काम चलता था, like 10 o'clock or so. So you'll have to define what are the working hours. If anything is happening out of those working hours, then what should be done? So very, very simple things. Then defining the dress code, how you are supposed to be present on the virtual platform. जैसे आप ऑफिस में प्रोफेशनली ड्रेस होके जाते हैं, तो क्या वर्चुअली भी आपको उतना ही प्रोफेशनलिज्म दिखाना है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्रेसिंग और नो? सो दीज आर वेरी, वेरी बेसिक पॉइंट्स जिसके वजह से प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट हो रहे थे, एंड वी हैव ट्राइड टू टैकल ऑल दोस पॉइंट्स इन द पॉलिसी.
Fantastic. So my last question today is of International Women's Day, but in international means in the woman, the man comes. So there are many people are asking, is POSH only for women, or we can be more innovative and have a gender diversity in the policy for males also? What's your take on that?
Absolutely, because as I said earlier also, वुमेन सेंट्रिक लॉ जरूर बना है, लेकिन हमारे हाथ में है that how we want to protect all the genders who are associated to our workplace, and it does not only get limited to the men but also the third genders who are now actively taking part in all the workspaces, all the organizations, right? So equal protection to their rights and respect is also our duty, the duty of employers. So now it is up to all of us that how we design a beautiful gender neutral anti-sexual harassment policy that is overall giving a safeguard to all the genders who are working out there. So this becomes very, very important, and communication of that policy in the training and sensitization program becomes another important aspect that is going to help safeguard every gender and create a safe workplace environment for all of them.
Fantastic. So Divija ji, now coming back to the main journey of POSHSHALA, you have created as a woman POSHSHALA, a private limited company in last year, especially for women. So please take us to the journey about entire how it was conceptualized.
So POSHSHALA is very, very close to my heart. This is something what I actually wanted to do. This was my passion. होता है ना कभी कभी कि जैसे हम चीजों को इवेंचुअली रियलाइज करते हैं दैट व्हाट एक्चुअली यू वांट टू गेट इनटू. आई एम अ प्रैक्टिसिंग कंपनी सेक्रेटरी बाय प्रोफेशन एंड आई रन माय ओन फर्म. सो आई हैव बीन डीलिंग विथ कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस अ लॉट, एथिक्स अ लॉट. सो कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस को हैंडल करते करते पॉश जैसी एस्पेक्ट को लेकर आना और पॉश कंप्लायंस से पॉश गवर्नेंस की जर्नी जो मुझे तय करनी थी, उसके बारे में सोचते सोचते एक वर्ड डिजाइन किया गया, that is POSHSHALA. And trust me, this was a very, very random thought that me and my husband actually got कि posh को किस तरह से हम coin कर सकते हैं, because पाठशाला होता है जहां हम पढ़ने जाते हैं. So similarly we thought why not let's name our company as POSHSHALA, because इसके बारे में ये भी एक ऐसी जगह है जहां पर आप posh के बारे में सीखते हैं, how to get prevention from sexual harassment आप इसके बारे में सीखते हैं. That's why the word POSHSHALA. And POSHSHALA and मेरा बेटा दोनों में सिर्फ 4 दिन का डिफरेंस है. So I am actually looking forward to raise these two my sweethearts in a very, very special way, because both of them are of course very close to me. A mother cannot neglect anything, right? So for me, if I cannot neglect anything for my son, I cannot neglect anything for POSHSHALA. So my journey that I have come up with reference to POSHSHALA is very, very special, and this gives me a lot of courage that I am able to speak up for this particular cause. And this is not only women centric, but yes, my company is very much helping other genders, males and third genders also the children for that matter, because child sexual abuse भी बहुत common चीज है जो आज के जमाने में हो रही है. And through POSHSHALA, my thought process, I'll definitely try how I can make India a safe place, and all the workplaces in the India in our country to be safe. So that's how it is.
So ladies, you can really lead your life, have a great positions, and enjoy your life, have a masti ki shala. But whenever you feel somebody is crossing the boundaries, remember Divija ji, remember POSHSHALA. She will give you the right way for you and your organization. So thank you very much for today. Have a great Women's Day. This is Nehal Thakur signing off, and keep liking AAKEN Advisory and POSHSHALA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nehal ji. Thank you all the viewers for being a part, and thank you for listening so patiently. Thank you.